What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So as y'all know, today is indeed Wednesday, which means a new summit is now live here at Motorfest. I did want to mention, by the way, I am probably going to continue to keep doing these summit guides and stuff like that. I don't know if it will change, it might. But for right now, I'm still going to be doing these on Wednesdays and basically doing a lot more content on Forza and stuff. But I did want to show this here because we are going to have the aerobatic plane here, which is going to be the 330. I would say basically everybody is going to be well aware of that plane by now. But one thing I did want to show here, though, is if you guys are wondering, the jets are indeed going to be in the game as well. With that being said, though, it is going to be the Red Bull Edition Dassault Aviation here. Then you have the regular one. Both planes are basically going to be $1.4 million each, so it's basically going to be $2.8 million. I would also recommend grabbing yourself the bundle because you can get both planes for $1.4 million. To be honest, I would probably say that's kind of going to be a no-brainer there. Besides that, though, looking at the summit here, guys, the first thing I am going to mention is, yes, you're going to be able to use the jet there, which I would say that's probably where a lot of players will test it before they probably think about buying it. But as everybody does know, basically the entire summit is going to be based on planes and then 2 helicopter events. I would probably say the 2 helicopter events are probably going to be the worst part of the summit. The rest of it really wasn't too bad. For example, we're going to have a speed trap here. For this, guys, the Pilatus PC-21 is honestly unmatched. All you basically have to do is turn around once you spawn in, kind of go up into the sky, and then dive bomb into the speed trap itself, hitting your nitrous. Got around 250 miles an hour, and keep in mind, it was definitely not a good run. So you could probably get well over that if you practice a bit, aiming the plane down. And having a nitro chemist is also greatly going to help. I didn't use it on that event. We're then going to have an aerobatics here, which is going to be the one aerobatics in the entire game. And the first thing I want to say here is you do not have to have a score breaker set for it. I did end up running a regular XP magnet, guys, having skilled on every single part, and got 157,000 points. So at least it's still going to be very easy to do it. And you could probably even get away with running 7 random gold parts, having skilled on every single one of them, and you would be good to go. We're then going to have an escape here. Now for this, you are going to have to use the GB, which I gotta admit, guys, I'm not the biggest fan of this airplane. For this, though, you are going to have to stay very close to the ground. I tried a few different runs. I used a regular XP magnet, didn't get that far. I think I got like 890 yards. I did end up switching to a chemist set to see, and well, yeah, you're easily going to get over 120k running a chemist set. That is something I would recommend doing because it does give you a lot more boost. You can also get farther. Who would have thought having a nitro chemist set makes you go farther? I don't think anybody would have guessed that, right? Besides that, it's going to be a very easy escape for the most part. Only thing you have to worry about is pretty much staying close to the ground and not going too high up, and you will be pretty much good to go. Now, the first event I did want to talk about here is going to be the jet. The reason for that is I gotta admit one thing. The jet handles pretty dang well, guys. I feel like they did a very good job on the way that it does handle, so I gotta give some props there. It isn't going to be the overall fastest thing everybody thought. Apparently hits around 400 miles an hour maxed out or something. Might be a little bit faster, but overall I would say 400 is a lot quicker than what I thought it was going to hit. I kind of thought it would hit like 450 doing what the drag cars did, but I guess it's going to be a tad slower. Huge tip here. Had to repeat that because this is something I haven't seen anywhere. Funny thing is, I was actually watching Sid Waj's stream last night. I did mention this, and he was very surprised. If you guys are using L1 and R1, basically making your plane go left to right, that is going to make your nitrous go up faster. Do I know why? Absolutely not, but I did not question it though, and I was kind of laughing at that. When you probably get a chemist set, you have the right to fix it. It might even go up faster for that matter, but remember to use L1 and R1. That will get your nitrous up quicker, guys, which in return is going to make you much faster. We're then going to have the plane loaned event here, which is going to be the 330 that you did see on the regular, entire summit thing that was advertised basically everywhere in the playlist and stuff. This plane isn't going to be terrible, but keep in mind it's going to be base level. You don't have a nitro chemist and stuff, so it is probably going to be decently slow. For the helicopter events, I gotta admit, guys, the helicopter is very wonky to fly. Is it awful? Yeah, I would say a lot of players are going to hate it, and in fact, I'm kind of expecting both of these events. A lot of players might not even want to do them. This one I got 132,000 points. It wasn't the best run ever, but I kind of ran with it because I was like, yo, I don't want to do this again. Could I be faster? 100%. Wasn't really using my nitrous enough in this to really be faster with it, but I was like, I'm not going to jump back in and do this one again. We're then going to have the other helicopter event here, 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Again, not the best run, but honestly, I will end up taking that. Got 48,000 points. The max score on this one is around 71,000 from the top players. So the scoring on this event is a bit wonky. Over here, though, we're going to have to use the Waco. I would say this plane is fairly stable. Is it going to be everybody's go-to plane? Probably not. Keep in mind on basically every event, by the way, I probably do mention this in basically all the videos now, but I'm not going to be using a Nitrochemist on the main events here. Obviously, these are loaned, but the other 4 events, though, I basically ran an XP Magnet, so it's going to be the same with the YMF and also the GB. I know you guys all love this plane. Gotta admit, I'm not the biggest fan of the GB. Like, it's not awful, but I feel like there's definitely better planes out there. Not only do they handle better, but they're also going to be quicker than what this plane can even get to. Besides that, though, we are going to have a plane-focused summit with some helicopter events. You will be able to test out the jet, which is pretty dope, so you can decide if you want to buy it. Will end up costing you around $1.4 million per jet, basically totaling around $2.8 million. If you get the bundle, it's going to cost you around $1.4 million. Besides all of that, guys, if you have any questions at all, do let me know in the comments below. I would say players are probably not going to be the biggest fan of this summit, specifically because people might not like the planes and or the helicopters.